Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and do something different outside my sports content. I actually want to talk about something I did fairly recently last month, something I tried for the first time, and give you my review and my experience from it. Is I tried speed dating last month. Yeah, this 41-year-old male who is still happily single, but I figure in order for me to potentially meet new people and who knows, maybe find the one. You hear stories of people saying they met someone at speed dating, and some people, I'm not sure if it's speed dramatics, but some people say, oh, when this person sat in front of me, I knew I wanted to marry that person. Well, that's definitely not going to be me, to be honest with you. I'm only just going to decline as time goes on. I'm being real. I not consider myself a beach babe that the ladies will see me in a magazine and cry over and say, oh. But I tried speed dating last month, and the company I tried it with was Flair Events. I mean, the gist of speed dating is you see your mates, parodied in movies or read about it, is at a particular company. For example, Flair dating. I've also saw Calgary speed dating, as well as my cheeky date. I think there's one called Tantra, but basically you're looking for me, it has to work with my schedule, and my work hours do mostly suck when you have to be up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and then you gotta look for the age range. The case with when it came to Flair is it was on a Friday night. It actually was Grey Cup weekend, so didn't have anything else going on, and it was ages 34 to 43. So you have a company that sets it up, and ideally you would have same number of males and females that claim to be single. In my case, there was actually more more males that showed up than females, and I'll explain about how they fulfilled the time. But let's just say you have 10 males, 10 females, so it could be 15 or 20, and then the company, arranges it. Some companies, they might assign you a number to start at a table, or to give you, you get a scorecard. In this case, it was either just yes or no. Some might give, other parameters like yes or just as friends or be more serious. And then the organizer sets up mini dates. It could be 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The case with Flair Events, it was 8 minutes. So I figured this was something that I wanted to try, potentially meet someone, meet people, just have a little fun night out. That's not going to games, something to do in between going to games, and just, chance for me to know myself a little better at the stage of my life and get some ice time or reps in for dating. Because when I turned 30, believe it or not, I decided that I wanted to think that I gotta start dating, because I do have friends, but everybody's too busy on your existing network, and with that, it's just be able to go out and meet. So you can meet someone theoretically anywhere, on the street, at the mall, at the grocery store, on the bus, and you never know. But I don't believe in love at first sight. I just don't see, myself falling for someone right away. But getting to the event itself, I went to, actually it was at a karaoke bar near the Salem, where this, I think it was called Batches, that I went to, that was set up by Flair And actually, interestingly, one of the hostess that worked with the company, I went to high school and junior high with her. Hi, in case if you're watching the video, I'm going to leave the names out, but what happened that night, and then me personally, I do feel a little more comfortable making videos, but I've always had social anxiety and tough to meet people and in general, and I don't think I'm wired up here for long-term relationship, but I figured it'd be nice to maybe meet someone and potentially go to the game with. I think it's personal vlog 103. I still know that what my luck will be is if I meet that special someone. She'll be just as big or a bigger sports fan than me, but she'll be a fan of my rival teams. That's what is going to happen. But at the event, I think if I recall, there were only 7 ladies that showed up. There were 10 guys, and I think based on what I felt with the crowd, I'm 41, I felt most of the people there were in their late 30s, just taking the temperature of the crowd, and I'm going to say everyone there was nice. I didn't see any crazy people either sex, male or female. I did not get any matches, but I wasn't surprised. I didn't feel anybody that I sat with, I didn't feel that, I really, really, really want to pursue her. But getting back to the scorecard, you do yes or no, and if the company sees any matches between the names, and if there is, they contact you, or they contact you either way, and say, hey, you have this match, and you exchange information. What I thought would have happened, they didn't assign a number to me and a table. I did feel it was, from what I researched, it was sort of disorganized. It was nice that they had us all set up and that we all got random cards, and then we read the card and answer said question on said card, and we'll all run around and get names, just do that as an icebreaker. And then when they started the speed dating, it was basically telling us to pick a table, so it's kind of an unorganized chaos in a way. So I was able to plant myself at a table and get started. Of course, short guys' worst enemy is when the chairs are taller, and I feel like I gotta try to leap up. That did feel a little awkward. Hopefully that didn't turn a lady off. I'm 5'5". I've been this height since I was 13, and I'm a little big. Those are things you have to accept. I'm great, and that's what I'm only declining as time goes on, but you just go around. Then the first time they said after 8 minutes, they say, go this direction, and I said, no, go that direction, and then we maintain that. So, you go through your dates, and about halfway, they let you, go take a break to, you get a drink, use the facilities. It's the guys that move around and the ladies that stay seated, and that was the case with this speed dating event, and that usually is most of the time. But now getting back to if you're asking, well, you said there was 10 guys and only 7 ladies. How did you fulfill those other 3 dates? Well, interestingly, I was able to chat with the hostess, including the one lady that I went to high school with and junior high, going further back. I actually had a mini reunion with her, and to be honest, even though she was ineligible to be on the card and for me to say yes or no, and it was nice to see her again and catch up. And I know the last time that I saw her I was working security when I was going to college, and she worked at a bank, and she kind of gave me some gossip about the people she worked at the bank, including the manager, because it worked out that I saw the manager the one day at the bank that I was working security at, and then later in the year I worked at another bank, and it was that same manager, but he went to a different bank, so he remembered me from there. And I mean, from my perspective, not knowing, being a guard and working the plays, I thought he was a cool guy, but I had some other gossips, so I had fun with that, but I just remember a lot of the ladies that I saw. I mean, I guess there was a few that I didn't put yes to, but all the others, I felt most of them were fairly local to Calgary, like not necessarily Calgary, but lived in southern Alberta. There was one I remember chatting to that was from the Okanagan, so tried to relate to that area. And there was a couple of ladies, one that I remember, and everyone had their different way of approaching speed dating. Not too sure with this one lady. She was Vietnamese, but mostly spent time in Canada and here in Calgary. She was frantically writing notes on everybody, like the whole time she was. I mean, they try to say maybe takes notes, but you only have 8 minutes with this particular person. I mean, this lady was frantically writing notes about every person. And I remember I was speaking to a Russian that was in Calgary in Canada for 10 years. You just try to come up with different questions. I know you got the usual, what do you do, where are you from? I know the couple questions I kind of threw out there as trying to be different from my first experience I tried to say, did you have a life-changing trip or experience? And me personally, I said when I went to Mount Robson that changed my life when I went there for the first time. And I just say, people that were within the Calgary area, I sometimes like to throw out the question, what do you think is the most iconic building in the Calgary skyline? That's how I approached it. I mean, it was my first time doing this. I did feel a little nervous coming in, not knowing who you're going to see. I was hoping I wasn't going to get someone that was too aggressive, say, I want kids, I want to get married. I didn't feel that. I mean, even if you happen to watch this video that said no to me, I still felt everyone was nice and didn't feel any disdain. I didn't feel that, oh, that's the one. I mean, you hear some people say they met on speed dating. I mean, I could see, you meet someone, you would both say yes, and then you would, build on it. But I wouldn't think I would, see someone and then next week we're talking about getting married. That does seem to be too quick. And I mean, me personally, I've never been at this stage out of my life, meaning I'm 41 and a half, that I've never been serious with someone. I still enjoy being single. I think I'm going to be single for the rest of my life, and I accept that. I'm fine with that. But it would be nice to maybe have someone in my life to maybe spend time at the game with, maybe possibly go somewhere with. But it just seems like it gets harder to meet someone when you're too busy, and I always call the perils of adult friendships. You're too busy, the other person too busy, and have opposite schedules. I always find that's an issue too. Or for me, some people tend to wonder why at the end of the day I'm so exhausted when I gotta get up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I get off work when everyone else gets off, and then they're thinking, I mean, I do miss a lot of games during the week because they're on too late for me, or if there's a Friday night or a Thursday night football game, I usually have to take Friday off so I can go to the game Thursday night, because you're practically up till midnight, and I'm not going to be fresh as a daisy. I don't have the energy of a border collie anymore, and so that's why I find it's hard to meet someone. The speed dating thing, I had fun for what it is. I think it's a unique way to meet people, potentially. I'm going to say it's sort of made a comeback now, because obviously this couldn't have happened during COVID restrictions with social distancing and that, and places not open or having capacity controls. But this is definitely something way better than online dating, because you'll never get to fully see someone on an app. where you go on various dating. The only dating thing that I tried was that Facebook one built in. Because at least that one, you have more truth on the age. But even then, you see a picture, people list all this stuff. I mean, and then one time out of 100, maybe you'll get someone that would answer back, and you just exchange words, and then that's it. Or at least with speed dating, I find the dating is forced. I mean, you're all going to the establishment. You get to see everybody. There isn't, I don't like this person, I'm going to sit this one out. I mean, you're committed to all the dates. You got to be fair. That part is forced, and then the person or the company looking at it, they put in their age parameters, so you know you're within someone that's within the age. I mean, 34 to 43 in this case. That seems reasonable. Like, someone, that's the thing I'd worry about if I tried, especially being a 40-year-old. If someone's in their 40s, that if I tried online dating, I worry about someone will also say they're 40, but then be too easy to say, yes, let's meet, and then the person will either be 20 or 60. And I said, well, that won't work with me. I mean, yes, it's legal. Yes, I could hang out with someone that's legally 20 years old. That's literally half my age. That's way too young for me. And someone 60, that's too old for me. If I want to date someone that old, I might as well date my mother. And that's different, hanging out with your mother as opposed to actually dating someone that age. Yes, it's legal. And I know for sure that wouldn't work. Because I'm also at that age now that, I say that, but I'm also at that age now that more new coworkers that come in the office, you know, I find out that they're in their early 20s. And sure, I'm cool, I can chat with them and work with them and maybe have a little, you know, general chat outside of work, at work. But I know I'm not going to be dating that person seriously because of, you know, the age difference. And I know at the time with a lot of ladies that come in that work in the office, they're already set for. That's the other reason why I want to try speed dating more, and I'll do this again. It's only something I'm only going to do every other month because of schedule. I mean, it was what, $50, $60 to go, so it's not something I can realistically do every weekend, especially with the economy being the way it is. But I mean, I've never really been serious with anyone. I mean, I've never lived with someone. I've had friends. I know there's one lady that, you know, late elementary school that I became good friends with, and then we had a bad falling out, and we really couldn't stand each other. And then as time went on, and then social media made it easier, and I reached out to this person, and so everything in the past is that in the past. And did say I would be interested in reconnecting with you, and if we see each other reunion, it would be a positive thing, the 10-year reunion. And so once that went well, when you reach out to her, message her first, is when the next morning there's a friend request from her, and there's a message in your inbox, and she was shocked I reached out to her, but happy I did. I mean, that's the only other thing. I know that, interestingly, maybe it's sort of, you always have maybe a potential regret that you didn't approach, and never know what could happen either at school or other settings. But you know, you always have some anxiety, or luck would be should have been taken anyway, or you know, even on the bus. Most people I do see on the bus are definitely not my type, not my age, and most people I wouldn't want to see again on the bus. But I do remember one time we just said nice day to the driver, but there was one lady driver that I could have wished way back I could have, by luck she probably already had a boyfriend, and actually she was a larger lady than me, but she seemed like a nice lady, and didn't approach her more than just saying have a nice day. I'm sorry for a few weeks, but who knows what could have been if I went back then, but that's why I do speed dating, or I've done it once and plan to do it again, is because I think that's the only way at my age I can potentially meet someone that is also interested, potentially meet someone, and who knows what'll come out of it. I don't think I'll sit down in front of a lady and say, oh, I'm marrying her, before she says a word. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think I have the looks either that a lady would say, oh, when he said it for me, oh, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to get married. It'd be a shock if I ever announced that I get married, but that's just my experience with speed dating with Flair. There was a couple things I thought they did, but they didn't, and know what to expect more in the future. Maybe being that no matches, there might be a couple different strategies I could do to potentially get a match, but I mean, it's my first time. I just say this is the only way I'll get some reps or ice time, that if I do meet someone, speed dating or not, at least I'll be able to be a little more comfortable, because I could count them maybe two hands if you stretch it out since high school. How many times I've gone on a date with someone, and half the time when I've gone on or meet up with someone on a date was usually if I'm on holidays to meet up with someone out of town and they have a better schedule than I did. So I mean, I've had those dates, but I would count that. But that's just as casual friends visiting when you're in town. But I'm going to say, have you tried speed dating? Would you want to try speed dating, especially if you're happily single, like I am, but just to, do something different? At least put it on there that you've done it at least once. And there was no friends, no family, no colleagues pushing me to do it, and I finally did it. I just decided this on my own and did some research, finding the, ultimately it comes down to the time, the availability, and the age range. I know Calgary speed dating, I understand that one has a longer advance. I mean, the Flair said it was 3 hours, but it was done in 2 hours. Calgary speed dating, it's like 3 to 4 hours. But they have like 10-minute dates. But the problem with them was the fact that they're on a Sunday night, and that doesn't work for me when, I don't work banker's hours or government hours where, I'm up at 4 or 5 in the morning so I can get ready to be at work for 7. It's not like the Jetsons where I can press a button. Even after I say, what, it's morning already, I'm dressed and a tube takes me to work in 30 seconds. We're not there yet. But it's just time availability. Looking at the Flair, there's a Sunday afternoon, but that's not going to be until late January. And I know I did get a discount coupon for the no matches, and then there was an option for paying like a couple $100 to have a service. I don't want to pay for a service for, like, if I wanted to pay for a service, I would have tried eHarmony. I'm not necessarily looking for the one. I'm just looking to see if I can maybe meet some other friends, or if the one comes, it comes. But I think it's unlikely with me, especially where I'm at in my life right now. So I'll close out. I want to say, if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, just make sure you hit like, subscribe, and I have my other social media links down in the description below. I'm just going to say, would you want to try speed dating sometime? Does this sound like something you would want to do, guys? If you're a guy watching this or a lady watching this, given my analytics, 90% of people watch my stuff are males within the 18 to 40 crowd. So I'm going to say, if you go, you'll be the one that's moving, and the ladies get to stay put, depending on the company. I just say I flared, and we didn't have a number at a pre-made scorecard to call up, but I guess that makes it easier for them, where you just fill it out and ask them to make notes. But I'm not going to make notes extensively like that Vietnamese lady that did. but it's how you try to remember everyone. But if there's someone that you really thought and you would have said yes to, you probably would remember that person more than everybody else. So I just want to say thanks for watching. Happy speed dating. If you decide to do it, thanks to this video or not, I'm not sponsored or paid by anything. This is just my experience and get just about it, and my experience with somewhat women. But I'm happily single. This was worth giving it a try. So I was going to say thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.